Mamma mia. Bro, I'm learning Italian. But what a game. Not even what a game. What a final. What a derby. What a contest. That was one of the most exciting games I've seen this year. And on top of that, it was the most surprise result. But what it teaches you is when it comes to knockout football, when it comes to a one-off game of 90 minutes, it doesn't matter who's the better team, who's the better coach, who's got the better players, which system has been 3, 4, 5 years in the building. It's one 90-minute game. And I feel like when I watched that Milan performance against Inter, the top dog, the big dog of Italy, the best team, Scudetto winners, their system, the manager, the players, their squad, everything about Inter is amazing as a team. They're the team that so many people look up to and aspire to be like. But Milan today, it's going to sound crazy, and I'm going to literally dedicate an entire video to this for tomorrow. They went toe-to-toe with the best team in the world. That second half, AC Milan destroyed Inter. They destroyed them. And there's so many players I have to speak about. Number one, one of my favourite players, Rafa Leão. It was so bold, I'll be real, it was so bold by Sergio Conceição. Bearing in mind, Leao is injured. To bring him off the bench straight from the second half. Rolling that dice and saying, go out there. Show me what you can do. I know you had a little falling out. You didn't see eye to eye with Paulo Fonseca. People were beginning to question Leao. It felt like, to me, like Leao was being forced out of Milan. Like maybe Milan's next project doesn't have a place for Rafa Leão. He came off the bench, and when I tell you guys, you could see the fear in those Inter Milan players' faces. That's the Rafa Leão I know. Brave, confident, assertive, on the ball imposing himself, off the ball getting stuck in. I'll be so honest with you guys. He was literally just picking up the ball, gliding past players. And the beauty in it is when he was getting into those dangerous areas, the decision making was top notch. When he comes on, first 10 minutes, taking the ball down the outside of Dumfries, having that composure to still retain the ball, lift his head up, sporting Reinders. If that goal went in, that's all Rafa Leão. You look at the game-winning goal. The run inwards. Receiving the ball. How many players in that area lose composure, get excited, start thinking about, let me be the hero, let me try score the game-winning goal? No. Composure. Looking to his left. Seeing Tammy Abraham in a better position. That Rafa Leão performance, I have to applaud it. Game changer. He came off the bench. Milan went 2-0 down. In everybody's eyes, it was game over. But no. He stepped up and he just looked like a Rafa Leão that had a point to prove, and he proved it. Another player, Christian Pulisic. For me, Captain America. And I've mentioned him many times this season. This is a dude, this season, Paulo Fonseca, Sergio Conceição. Paulo Fonseca was rotating formations left, right and centre. One day 3 at the back, one day 4 at the back, then it's 5, then it's 3 in attack, then it's 2 split strikers. Christian Pulisic this season, regardless of the manager, regardless of the system, regardless of the teammates on the pitch, the players that he has to play with, he's performed. And that's what top players do. In my opinion, that's what top players do. They don't sit down and hold on to an excuse. Oh, I'm being played out of position. Oh, I'm not playing with players of my quality and my caliber. No, Christian Pulisic this season, every single time he's gone out there, he's gotten the job done. I'm watching him today and I'm seeing a player that's now refined his game, but consistent in all departments. Consistent in his playmaking. Consistent in his goal scoring. Consistent in his work off the ball. A player that's showing a versatile side to his game where at times he will go out wide to the right. At times he will drop deep. At times he will tuck inside and help Morata. Today, off the ball, he was spearheading the press. Him and Morata. And I'm looking at Christian Pulisic this year, and I'll be honest with you guys, he's looking like one of the best players in the Serie A. He is a player that's put Milan on his back this season, especially during a period where the manager was struggling. Theo Hernandez one of Milan's best players, forced out of the picture. Rafael Leão, when he was injured, when he was also forced out of the picture, Mr. Milan at the time was Christian Pulisic. And he delivered the goods, even in Paulo Fonseca's Milan derby win in the Serie A. But for me, he's having an amazing season. And finally, I have to dedicate a segment to Sergio Conceição, the Milan manager. Why? Because I feel like people really brush under the carpet how difficult it is for a manager to walk into a club that's sinking. Milan have been sinking this season for so many reasons. The internal and external problems at the club, Paulo Fonseca's inability to live up to people's expectations and demands and the standards of an institution the size of Milan. But to walk into a sinking ship, guys, do you know how long it takes just to even steady the ship, let alone win silverware against some of the best teams in Italy, let alone having 2, 3, 4 training camps, but implementing your philosophy, and you begin to see the manager's blueprint on the pitch. And I have to give him credit. I really do. I have to give him credit. Today, for me, he showed like that tactical versatility, which I love. I love tactics. I love learning about managers. I love seeing how different managers set up. But Simeone Inzaghi, like, he's known around the world for the 3-5-2 and how dominant and how aggressive it is out of possession. I'm seeing Sergio Conceição, a man that fought against Thiago Motta just a few days ago in a 4-2-3-1 shape off the ball and a 3-4-4 build-up shape in the first phase. But today, I'm seeing Milan off the ball, 5-3-2. I was watching it and I was like, there's no way. It's only been 2-3 days ever since Milan's last game. There's no way you've tactically drilled these players into playing a completely different way. Don't get me wrong. The principles, the instructions remain the same. But the zones that you have to occupy and how each zone has different responsibilities, these are things that take 1-2 weeks, 1-2 months, sometimes even a year for players to understand. And I was watching it and I was like, this is crazy. But the reason why he's done this change is to counter Inter's 3-5-2, where they're so aggressive and assertive in the second phase. And I have to credit it. I really, really, really do. Because he's showing that he's a manager that at the moment is living up to people's expectations. And he's going far beyond that. He's shown I can walk in, steady a ship and get something from these players straight away. But most importantly, and this is like a piece of criticism that I had on Paulo Fonseca and any manager in the world, I feel like you should always judge a manager on what they can get out of a team's so-called best players. Paulo Fonseca struggled in that department. This is Sergio Conceição, and he's shown I can still continue to get what Fonseca got out of Christian Pulisic. So Christian Pulisic, tick. I can also get something out of Theo Hernandez. I can get something out of Rafael Leão in just 45 minutes of football. And on top of everything is the bravery. I admire the bravery. I really, really, really do. Rolling the dice, bringing on the attacking players, telling your team to keep fighting even when it's 2-2, to go on and win the game. And at times, the pieces of play that Milan were playing, like the 1-2s, the passes over the top, you could see that consistency, you could see that fluidity in this team. And for me, it shocks me, it surprises me, but most importantly, it impresses me, because how long has he really had in the job? I don't even think he's had a week. I really don't think he's had a week. So, looking at it from the outside, if you're a manager that's capable of implementing your blueprint on a team and you're beginning to see more positives than negatives in such a short amount of time, what can you do with 2 weeks? What can you do with 3 weeks? What can you do with 2 months? What can you do with a summer transfer window? But having said all of that, Milan are the Super Cup winners of 2025. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on another one.